I don't even know what that is. Operational AI systems, neomorphic model ops, but nothing I can, I recognize that. Responsible AI and stuff. At the other side, they're computer vision, digital ethics, but we're interested in, let's go down there for a second. We're interested in that boy, generative AI, which is a new thing that has come about. So they scan in like GitHub, just like the GitHub, or they scan in the internet, and they generate large models of billions, if not trillions, of tokens, and they create these generative AI models. The landscape is already big. You can see here under code generation, we already have all of these, and this is excluding the GitHub Copilot. We have platforms, synthetic data generation, ML ops, text and summarization, text to speech, design, editing, nearly everything that you can think of is right here. And there's a problem there, because some people in this sentiment, in this spectrum, say it's good for humanity. Some people say it's bad for humanity. Some say it's useless. Some say it's capable. And if you look at what the the useless and bad for humanity, it's just a statistical parrot. It's dangerous. For good for humanity, there is someone coughing feverishly. I'm going to ask them to put it on mute, please, if you can. And good for humanity, it's just fun, but it's a toy, entertaining, but no real use cases. And then as you get to bad humanity and capable, AI will take our jobs. Humans will become dumb. Amplifies fake news, hate speech. AI will take over and enslave us. And then over here, there are some useful applications, unlock new human potential. That one concerned me. I must be honest, I've read the Elon Musk interviews quite a few times, and that kind of gave me a few nightmares. This was created by DALL-E. I said, DALL-E, please generate a AI looking over me in a robotic body as I sleep, and it actually did that though, and it kind of gave me some nightmares. And I stopped for a second. I thought, technology this has happened before. I remember when I started programming, and the same kind of feeling was there, that something is awesome in front of me. I have to really make it count. How can I make it count? And then I started actually using Copilot. I started using ChatGPT, GPT, Azure, and I've incorporated it into nearly everything I do. And like Robert said earlier, I get it to answer my WhatsApps, my emails, my nearly everything, poems around that. But I get it also to code very well. And this is really the crux of the talk that we're going to do today. And how did we get to this point at Microsoft, at GitHub? And I've got this little diagram that can show you exactly what we and how we went to that. So in the beginning, we kind of gave them money. We gave them a few billion, and they created a GPT-3 models and OpenAI in 2019. And then in 2020, we had that. And then 2021, the DALL-E and Clip models, and you can customize it, fine tune. 2021, the Codex models. Now, this is important. The Codex models is what we're going to discuss today. And GitHub Copilot on Azure OpenAI was the Codex model. And then OpenAI private preview. And then right to the end of that, we've got DaVinci 03 and Azure OpenAI Service GA. Now, we're not going to talk about OpenAI GPT-3. I have an entire another talk that I have on GPT-3 and ChatGPT. We're just going to do the Codex model, which is GitHub Copilot. So that's the OpenAI Service Codex model. And you can see there, you've got a prompt, validate each address with an API and return a list of valid addresses. And then from that prompt, it'll get you maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You have to vet it still yourself. Remember, you're a prompt engineer. Your job here is to create a human readable prompt and then vet and quality control that prompt. That's it. That's what a prompt engineer does, really. And he really kind of goes in and he changed the model. Us as users of that prompt, of those prompts, as prompt engineers, we need to understand how to talk to it. I'm going to show you today on the demo how to talk to these AIs and how to not talk to it, because some of the prompts you're going to do aren't going to go anywhere. They're just going to, GitHub Copilot's going to say, I don't know what you're saying, leave me alone. And so today we're going to actually go in and find out how to do it. But you need to understand how it works, how the mind works. And let's go in and look at how and what it's about. So it uses OpenAI Codex, and Codex is scanned on GitHub, all the repos there, and soon it's going to be scanned on other repository now, but it is sanitized. It's made sure that there's no rubbish in it, and there's also nothing that is sensitive information. All languages are supported: Ruby, PHP, Java, but some languages are more supported than others, like Animal Farm. Python and Java, because of their prominence in GitHub, are the most well-supported. Python, Java, and JavaScript, whatever is on the TOB or Red Monk list, is right at the top, though. Now, works with most IDEs. So you can use it on Visual Studio, NeoVim, VS Code, and JetBrains IDE. Today, I'm going to show you 2 IDEs and how to get started with it. I'm going to show you the JetBrains version, and then I'm going to jump over to the VS Code on the same project, and I'm going to show you there's a little slight differences between the 2, and there's some power that VS Code brings. So let's summarize. Limited content is sent to Copilot. When your prompt is created, it scans in your file that the prompt is on, or adjacent files. So let's just say you've got a file there that generates, and in our example, dad jokes. Now, the dad jokes might be in a file not in your main method, but it knows that where the other generator method is to create the dad jokes. So it scans it in quickly, and then it has to be very quick, and then gives you that option to actually go in and create the prompt. And you can see here in this example, we've got a array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got some code. Find the largest prime number in the array, and then it will generate a code. If it can find a method in its API, it will generate it. Else, it will go in and make a suggestion. You can see there, const largest equals to math.max array. And then it deletes the context right away after the suggestions have been generated. Very important. This is context in memory, and it's not really kept, so you don't have to worry about sensitivity. Now, what do you do with it? So you use the context that you provided and synthesize code to match. Now, you can convert comment to code that we saw before. You can autofill repetitive code. As you're doing it, you can see there seconds, minutes. It's going to know, okay, next you're going to say hours, days, weeks, months, and years. How many times have we gone through repetitive code? I remember doing XML coding, and you can kind of like code in XML and you go down to the next bit and everything, or you want to do date-driven development and you want to go date 1, date 2, date 3. In this example that we're going to show with the dad joke, I'm going to show you how to do it, and also with emojis that it generated for me. You can also show alternatives. This is an important concept. It understands you might want something it doesn't really understand, but it wants to give you that option. So you can actually ask it to generate an alternative and see if you like that alternative, which is a very nice way of saying, I don't like what you're going to bring. I want something else. So there are controls that you can have once it is generating. First of all, you can turn it off, on and off. Sometimes you don't want your code scanning, because when you're actually creating those prompts, you'll see there, it actually, like IntelliSense, gives you those options. And you might not, like you're demoing, and suddenly you put in like, the word Kim Kardashian, and it gives you some really weird, feedback, or you say Rihanna Super Bowl, and it says, why was she on the Super Bowl? She wasn't as good as Beyonce. And you can also opt out of telemetry. So this is the individual controls, because we at Microsoft and GitHub use telemetry to grow the models. You can also filter public code matches. So you can allow or block suggestions if you don't want that. Now we've just launched, check this, Robert, just today, the business controls and GitHub Copilot for Business. So you can do policy controls at the enterprise and organization level, so you can control what it does and what it can do. You can assign users, and you can filter out public code matches just like you can do on the individual selection. So that's everything I wanted to show you today. It's really that simple. Now we're going to go through a demo, and Robert and I are going to maybe talk about it a little bit later around some of the questions. And we're going to go back into what's coming up though. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up IntelliJ, because I know a lot of you are very happy with your IDEs, and IntelliJ really is, you know, it's kind of like the dominant IDE that we find in production. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to open up IntelliJ, and I'm going to create a, let's open it up here. I'm going to create an HTML5 boilerplate project. So let me just open it up here, and here's my project here. And I'm running on 4 screens. So if something doesn't work well, it's because of the 4 screens. So I'm going to go File, New Project here. I've got boilerplate, and I'm going to call that dev ug rpza. And I'm just going to go create. So it's going to create my project. I mean, I can start coding, but I want to make sure that GitHub Copilot is installed. So I can go File, and then I can go Settings. And you can see that the extension for GitHub Copilot is already installed. Now, when you first time you install it, it's going to say log into GitHub, and then it's going to link through to your account. And if you've got GitHub in, well, you've got a subscription, then it'll work. That's all you really need to do. And this is the same kind of principle for all of your IDEs. So now I've got my project here, and let's go code. So the first thing I've got here is some HTML. So as soon as I do that, it knows what is in this file, what is in all of those other files, because it's busy scanning it. You can't see it, but it's busy scanning it. And then you can see at the bottom there, I can actually switch it off, disable completions for HTML, log out from GitHub. So it has all of this, and I want to delete some of the fluff, the bloatware that it put it in there, and I want to create there, add your site or application content there. I want to create a and I'm an accessibility advocate, so I want to create a video control for a accessible video that I created with captions. Now, it's hard to do captions in media controls though. So I've got a little script here, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a prompt. Remember, the prompts are the most difficult part, not the coding. So I'm going to say to it, embed a video tag with a video called video magnifier sample video.mp4 and a captions file called video modifier sample video.vtt with a width of 320, a height of 240, and controls. So this is the prompt that I'm giving it. I don't really have the files here, and it's going to not work, but I can add the files in a little bit later. So if I just hit enter, it's going to scan that in, and it's going to say, cool, that's the option. Now, once I have that option, I can actually go in, and on my little GitHub Copilot, you'll see there, now I can see the context. And it's going to say retrieving completions and what are the options I can get. So you can see there, I've got that option and that option and that option, and quite a few options actually. And I can go through all of them, or I can just actually go in tab by tab. So I'm not going to do select here. I'm going to go, okay, cool. I want to see, what are you doing here? Because I want a little bit more control over me. So yeah, I like that. Controls, source, I like that. Type, I want track source. Okay, that's good, great. Label English default. Your browser doesn't support the video tag. I like that also. And video. Now let's go create the video. Let's go here. We want to go new, and I want to go directory here, and I want to call this video. Now I've got the actual video tags here. Let me go in and get in. And I recently swapped from Mac to Windows. So if I do, and I'm not as eloquent as I used to, it's because I'm still learning. Yeah, I'm relearning Windows. The irony of Microsoft employee relearning Windows is not lost on me. So let's go here, and we want to go paste that video there, and we want to paste it. Okay, cool. And then we want to rename it. Now, this is the funniest thing. You have to actually go to rename something. You have to go refactor. And then I want to go there and just rename that to MP4. And then I want to go and refactor, rename to VTT. So this is a magnify sample I've got there. I've got the source track, and it added it all in for me. Now I can actually go in there and run it. So I can go run here, run.html, and it's brought it there. And here's my file with the 320 by 240, and it's got the captions in it also. So I've got captions English, and I can see that this is one of my colleagues here speaking about the Windows magnifier. That was easy for me to do, and I didn't have to know about the Windows. I just had to say, go in and create it. So let's go back here. Now I want to create a form. So I want to go in here, and I've got another prompt here, and I've got this actually, I did this demo a little bit earlier today, and it didn't work. So I'm very keen to see what happens here. Now I'm going to go a form with name, message, with the, let's just say with the fields name, and I'm going to go and message that has a button that calls a separate JavaScript function to alert the form fields. And let's see if this is behaving now. And then I'm going to go, and I want to go there. Okay. And then I can go enter. Form. That's great. Input time, name. Okay. Message. Input type equals to submit. And it's got the alert form fields and then form. But I asked it to, okay, JavaScript function around that. Now, if I want a separate JavaScript function. So it didn't really understand exactly what I was doing there. So let's go back and see if we can actually see some of the prompts there. So now we've got a GitHub Copilot. Now I can actually see what are the options here, because I want to find a separate form function. And this is the alternative options here. And then alert message there. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Alert message, click me. JavaScript function, alert hello world. No, I don't want that. Forms with field names, form input, form input name. No, that also not there. And let's carry on down here. JavaScript function, my function forms. Yeah, that looks better. And then we can go through that. And obviously you do need to test around this. So let's try that one, except for the forms command. And let's go back in there. Form name equals that, name equals that, alert, everything. I don't think it actually worked here. Let's go back and see exactly what it did. Oh, I think that's why. Okay, let's go there and GitHub Copilot and hit refresh. And okay, so let's go back and find that my function again. Okay, so there we go, alert my function. So let's try accept that solution there. There we go. Script. It doesn't, it actually needed, there we go, to do the script there. So we've got name and input time equals button, on click equals to alert message, and then alert message, alert and that message though. So you do need to test it, obviously, and to go through it. And sometimes I have noticed that it doesn't work perfectly around that. So let's go run index.html, and I want to bring it in here, and I want to hit refresh. That's got the name and the message fields here, so we can just add it in there. And then let's see if it alerts. Last time it didn't in the other demo. Let's because it didn't understand the JavaScript. It did it. Yay! Demo done. So it actually alerted it. And this is from a prompt, but you can kind of see it. It kind of was a little bit confused around the prompt. I had to go and help it. And that's what prompt engineers do, though. They help the model determine what the prompt is. Now let's see. Let's go off script a little bit here. I want to go add in here, and then let's go alert message. And instead of the alert message over here, I want to go change the alert message function to append the time and date to the message. Let's see what happens there. Now I'm going off script here, so obviously this, oh wait, alert message function. And sometimes you can see here, it's not happy about that. It doesn't like the prompt that we can go. So we can go generate the alert message function message. There we go. And did it do that? No, it didn't, because it didn't actually understand what I was trying to do. So that's one of the problems that I've encountered with the Copilot, that if you don't get the prompt right, then, and if you want to generate it afterwards, it doesn't actually allow you to do. So we could have done it from the beginning. So let's just delete that there. And I want to go generate an alert function. Let's go alert function. No, let's go message. A message function to append to alert the form fields and append the date and time to the alerts. And then you play around with this and you rinse and repeat until you get the right prompt there. There we go. You see what I had to do though? I had to kind of like go back into there and do that then. So, and then that will alert the date around that. Let's just see if we can actually run it. And then I want to swap over to Java, and I want to show you, because I am a Java engineer, exactly what you could do into Visual Studio Code. So let's maximize this here. Let's hit refresh here. We should have a date time. So name, message, submit, and there we go. Now we added a date on there, and you can rinse and repeat. You can do regex. You can do a lot of things in there with GitHub Copilot. So how are we for time? Yeah, lots of time here. So let's go back. Now let's go into Visual Studio Code. And I've got another demo that I want to show you here. So Visual Studio Code, and let's go into here. And I want to go new project, and I've got everything set up here. Open recent, the emoji project. So this is the dad joke project that I've got. Now I've got the unit testing libraries there. I've got an app and app test here. This is a Java project here. And I've got a main method, and I've got an emoji method here. And I generated this with generate a method that, given a number, returns an emoji. But then I added all of that into there. So let's go into here. I'm going to just close that for a second. And I want to show you what it does and then what you can actually do. So let's copy that. And so we can actually just paste it over here. So X. Now it knows exactly what an emoji is, and it also knows what people want to do. So generate a method that, given a number, returns an emoji. Example emoji 1. So it even knows, wait, are you saying this? Do you want to do emoji 1? So let's go enter. There we go. Switch number. And we want to do, oh, it kind of didn't like that afterwards. Let's see if it can actually handle that. It went a little bit off key there. So let's delete that. And let's rather go, but it's gone. You can see there, it did not like that. Returns an emoji. Let's actually go through all of that. And it didn't like that. It didn't actually like that. The given a number returns an emoji. So let's go back into here now with the GitHub Copilot. It's a little bit different. So you've got there the ability to do that, and you can mouse over here, and you can accept, or you can go through those words here. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'm actually going to just show you what the one prompt did there. because I actually want to show you a little bit more then. So this is what it did earlier here, get emoji, and then I just pasted in some of the emoji methods here. So then after that, I thought, wait a second, let me create a dad joke here. So let's go into here and let me return, let me get rid of the dad. Now someone in somewhere actually went in and created a dad joke method. So over here, I've got generate a method that given a subject returns a dad joke. Example, get dad joke pizza. I don't trust stairs, they're always up to something. So hit enter here. We'll enter again. Oh, wait, there we had it. Enter here again. And there's my dad jokes. So dad joke, pizza, I don't trust stairs, chicken, I'm reading a book about anti-gravity, computer. Okay, that's good. I like that. Case computer, case unknown. So pizza, chicken, and computer. And then we can go in and cool. Can I run this on the main method? Get a dad joke for the subject pizza. Enter. No, I want to get a dad joke for the subject, not for pizza. Call. Let's try this prompt. Call the dad joke method and print out the joke for the subject pizza. There we go. Get dad joke pizza. And print out the emoji for the number 1. There we go. So now I'm going to run this here. And it says, there we go. It can't print out emojis on Visual Studio Code, only in IntelliJ, but I don't trust stairs. They're all up to something. That's great. What about unit testing? So let's go into here and unit test it here. Get test emoji and then get test dad joke. So if I go test emoji, now it's scanned in all of the files. It knows what I'm asking to do. So if I just hit enter here, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if this is clever. It was early, it did work earlier, but then I did have in a different emoji method here. And then when you go, okay, so generate test case for the, and let's see, number 1. Number 2, number 3, no, didn't want that, hey? So let's go back there. And let's also just see, is it right now generating what I want though? So generate test case for number 1. And I don't want that. So now, oh, it's got 2 there. There we go. So you see what I had to do? I had to say, no, don't do repetition, just generate a test case. So there's app 1. Now it's going to be cleverer because for number 2, but I don't want it to do that. I want it to do repetition. So let's go number 2. There we go. And it knows what I'm doing. Look at that. It can read my mind and go through that until it actually goes through all those test cases with those emojis. And we can run that test case. And this is something repetitive. And obviously, there we go. It's done. Now let's do the test, the dad jokes. Now, this is a little bit more difficult. So we had pizza, cars, computers, phones, and books. I think that we didn't have all of that. Over here, we had pizza, chicken, computer. So let's try that. Pizza, and go app test, pizza, chicken, computer. And not books in that. Let's see if that works now. Oh, and unknown. It even knew and unknown. Okay, let's hit enter and let's see what happens. Assert equals I don't trust stairs. That's good. I'm running a book, anti-gravity. That's good. Why do Java programmers have to wear glasses? Because they can't see shape. And unknown. So I literally generated a dad joke generator, the test cases for it, the main method for it, and also the test cases for it. But you know, I want my testers and everyone to explain to what I want. So in Copilot Labs, so you can actually go into another extension here. So Copilot Labs. I wanted to explain what I've done there. So you can go debug, clean list steps, mock document. That's what I want. I did not like that. Okay, so let's go back there and let's go try there and document. This code is used to test the get speed method in the car class. Definitely not, The car stopped. The speed is not okay. Really didn't understand. These are okay. Understand these labs are in beta. So let's try it again and let's go test method here and document. There we go. The test, I had to select it to give it context. The test method checks and it's returned. That's great. But what happens, I wanted actually to make it prettier and also to fix any bugs. So I can chunk that, I can list the steps. Let's go list the steps. There we go. Test pizza, test chicken, test computer. And I can actually go back into it and convert all of this. So let's convert this into Java. Into what language should we do? So let's go into app.java. I want to do a dad joke, but I want to do it in Python. Yeah, let's do that. String get dad joke. Now I want to go into Copilot, not language translation. And I want to go into that and into Python. Now, let's just see if it did it. There we go. Get dad joke and to Python now. So you can convert into nearly any language that you want with these labs. Python, Objective-C, is that still a language? Pug, Razor, Ruby, TypeScript. And there's quite a lot, but what I like the best is that little custom here. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go here. And I'm going to do a custom one here. And I'm going to say custom, what do you want? And I'm going to say return all the subjects in the case statement. Let's see if that works. And it's done it. Now it's got a subject list, pizza, chicken, and you can run anything that you do in ChatGPT by that custom statement, which is an important concept. So if I go here and I want to date stamp this. So I'm going to go date stamp here and I want to go not explain code. I want to go custom, add a date stamp with the format day, month, year. Oh, that's wrong. It really didn't understand that, but you get my point though. So it has ChatGPT built into it because it's Codex, but understand the Codex model is small compared to ChatGPT, and GPT model, which is absolutely huge. And you can go through all of these here. We've got list steps, make robust. Oh, how do I, let's see what that does there, because make robust in JavaScript will actually go in and close memory errors. Let's go make robust. What is it going to change? I'm very curious about that. It didn't really change anything there. Oh, it just had break statements. I think it actually just did joke and no, I don't think it did anything there. Let's go back there. List steps, clean and fix bug. The fix bug thing, you have to try it. If you have a bug there, so if I go as fix subject here and I go new string, because that should be a bug, right? That's definitely a bug here. So let's go into here and wait 1 second. Let me just get some more room here. I'm using an Apple mouse on a Windows PC, if you're wondering what kind of mouse I'm using here. And let's go fix bug. Let's see if it actually can find that bug. There we go. Look at that. It knew that I wasn't even calling subject. So it actually went in there and fixed the bug because it can scan all my code. And then it went and made the alternative changes. So that's everything I really wanted to show you today. So this is the VS Code version of that. Obviously, JetBrains has a little bit less. You can see that it doesn't have the labs. It still has the Copilot option to do that. You can do everything I did there, but it doesn't have the labs. And it also it's a little bit slightly slower because Visual Studio Code is run on Electron and it's pretty fast in that regard. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. And we're going to bake in PowerPoint and AI into everything. If you haven't seen the news here, we've definitely become an AI company. So let's go from current slide. So we've done the demo here. So what are we going to see tomorrow? So GitHub Copilot today, convert comments to code, order full for repetitive code, show alternatives. So tomorrow is we're going to do refactoring code, code translate, which I just showed you in the labs, review code, code explain, which I also showed you in the labs, documentation, and then also unit testing, we're going to drive that very hard. Finding code errors, which I showed you, debugging, code review, AI pull requests, and also we're going to create the ability coming up in the near future to scan code repositories, which means as a business, you can scan your entire code repository. It'll build up an index and a context for you. So you can just go, just prompt. And that's what the world really is going to go to. So Q&A, let's do a little bit more live demos around that. Back to you, Robert.
Sorry, Robert had to drop off, so I've taken over for him. If anyone has any questions, I will allow you guys to unmute yourselves. But maybe just raise your hand so we can do you guys one at a time. This is your opportunity to get Rory to actually to make these prompts do all the things that you want to test out without having to actually install it yourselves. So go for it. Asking questions.
I think I broke your audience here. They're like, oh my God, give it to me now. Look at that. You can clean the code. You can make the code easy to debug. It goes in there and actually goes in there. You can see it's got system out prints and everything like that. You can even clean the code once you have that. The clean code actually removes the debug statements, make robust, list the steps, chunk the code. Oh, look at that, chunk the code. So let's chunk it and see what happens. Oh, then it goes in and actually goes and refactors it into other statements here. And then you can go in and document that code after that. And it should actually go in and document all those methods once I chunked it. And every day I wake up and I go, I'm going to code something. I'm going to code something in Ruby. I'm going to code something in Go. I want to learn Go. And I don't want to sound a little bit weird, but it's a friend. It's like a coding friend that I have there that is always there, that helps me, and fun. It really makes it fun because you can learn new things, except for regex. I do not want to do regex. So like, for example, create a method that calculates the area of a circle using regex. And let's see what happens there. Get area of circle. Yes, and it's even got an example. There we go. Does it use regex there? Use regex to calculate it there. Use pass double to do that. It didn't really understand what I was trying to do. Double area, return area. Really didn't understand what I was trying to do though. But you can play around with it. Now, what is a prompt engineer? I've shown you today exactly what a prompt engineer is. Some of the prompts I didn't get right. You saw in some of the examples. Some of them I got right. And I just needed to kind of tweak it a little bit to get that prompt there. But you're being a great audience. Thank you so much. And sign up for GitHub. It's free for students and also for open source repositories. So if you're a contributor to an open source repository, you can get it for free.
That's awesome. Yeah, there are a couple of comments. Aaron says, thank you for the presentation. Luke says he had no idea about the labs. Take his money. Kribashan, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, says chunk and documentation. And then, yeah, so I think that's a very neat feature. Can kind of run that before you submit a PR.
Yes, it's great for documentation. So you remember, this is something that was meant to be a coding assistant. So as you're coding, you're prompting it to do that, or you don't have to prompt. You saw there, sometimes I just went into it and said, are you going to do that? Now, for presentations, you don't want it on because it might just randomly, sporadically, create code. So that's why you can switch it off there, and you can use GitHub for business and to also go in and enforce policies. You might not want it to use Java or Python, but you can do that. But play around with it. I've learned stuff that I didn't even know. Like when I example, how do I create a video file with video VTT. I didn't even know how to create those embedded video players then, and it taught me how to do that. So it's a great training aid also. And I've just got on the screen here, the GitHub Copilot Labs. You can go and install it here. This is power, hey.
That's awesome. Rory, I'm going to ask the difficult question, privacy concerns. So I know you mentioned for business, they can restrict it to only their own repositories, for example, but like surely it's still sending that code to some cloud service to then process.
Yes. So you can switch off telemetry. So you can actually switch off telemetry. Let's see if we can actually do that here live on air. So file, and then we want to go to, I think it's preferences, and then settings. And
well, there was a telemetry settings where you just were on that sub menu.
There we go. GitHub Copilot, enable inline suggest, enable advanced edit in JSON. The thing there on task enable survey. I'm not too sure exactly where. Disable for JSON C. No, I want for.
If you just go back to that settings menu you were at, this from the side, there was a separate settings for telemetry at the bottom there.
Yeah, okay. And then not too sure how to switch this off though, but you can kind of switch it off there. Error crash, but there is a way to actually to set it off there. I could have probably asked ChatGPT how to switch it, but I'm not going to ChatGPT today because I could stay in there for days.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that talk at some point.
I have mentioned it to Robert, so if you want, and that talk is insane because my buddy Azure OpenAI can do what ChatGPT can do, except way bigger. Because I can actually set it to say, ChatGPT, you are going to give me back one result. With Azure OpenAI, I can get 20, and then I can choose the top one for that 20.
Sure. And are you then able to see the weighting between the results and so on? Because I believe that's how ChatGPT works, right? It gives you, it generates these results and weighs them up.
And you pay for it also. So if you've got those 20, you're going to pay for those tokens. So there are options to generate logging, but it's a lot of logging. And I usually don't leave that on though, because then just everything just grinds to a halt.
Okay. Is there really no questions for Rory? No one in...
They're going in busy and installing it though. I've seen this before. They're going in there. And remember, you're not going to lose your jobs. This is what my worry was. You just need to understand how to prompt. All of these tools, you need to understand how to prompt. If you know how to prompt, then you don't have an issue. Now, let's go in here. So I don't know how to prompt in certain languages. So let's go in here, and I want to go file. Let me create a new project. Close editor. Close editor. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to go in and create here, and I want to go file, close. Sorry, it's not letting me close Windows, close folder. There we go, close folder. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go create a new Java project, or I can create a new, I don't have Python installed though, but you can create your projects here, Python, Go, Ruby, and then you can just start from the beginning and you can say, create me a REST service. So let's go here, create a Java project here. I don't actually know how to do REST from scratch. I can just go Spring Boot, a Maven project. I'm going to do that. Java example, demo, jar 17, last used here. Generate, not that folder here. Let's go into this PC opt, and I want to go. I'm going to show you how quickly we can actually do that with a REST service. Generate a new folder here. Generate a new folder. Now I don't know how to do REST by hand. It's not really that easy here. So I can go into source, main, Java, demo application, and I can go generate. Let's go here, generate a REST service, and I can learn about that, view projects, a REST service, and a controller. Path, hello controller, package, com.example, and it's actually going to go in, and there we go, request mapping, and I can just learn how to actually do it. It's actually in the wrong file there, REST controller, hello controller, and return hi in any language. So I can learn how to do this in Go and Python, in PHP. I just created a project, and it can actually edit the build files also. So if I go into my pom.xml, and here, and I can go dependency, and I can open there, and I can go dependency, and I can go, let's say, how do you prompt it here, generate, wait, now get me a dependency, get me a date dependency. I'm going totally off script here. Dependency, is that how you spell dependency? Get me a date library dependency. And let's see if it actually picks up here. There we go, Jackson date type. And that like that. So everything changes overnight. And now you understand why the entire industry has kind of pivoted with ChatGPT, with GitHub Copilot, with Codex in here, because what we thought we could do has changed fundamentally overnight. And that's kind of like my excitement. I hope you feel my excitement that I wanted to convey to you through this.
You do have a question in the chat from Luke. He says, when given enough context, will Copilot learn style preferences, preferred patterns, naming conventions, and so on? Or will it just use that context to understand the purpose or existing structure so that it can generate valid code?
That's a very interesting question. I don't know, but let's test it now. So let's go open recent. Let's go back to our emoji project. Now I want to go into my app project here, and how do I test this here? So create a method that calculates the error. No, I don't want to do that. So I want to go create a method, a recursive method, because let's just say that we create a recursive method to calculate Fibonacci, method to print out the numbers from 1 to 10. So style is interesting in programming because programming style really depends on what usage of the basic lexicons of the language then. So you have to kind of tell it, the recursive, and then there we go, print numbers, number plus 1. So it's using recursive, but I had to tell it and prompt it to change into that style. Because the model can't change. The model is a billion, trillion if statements there. You can't change that model. And if it does, then it changes for everyone. But you can tell it via prompts exactly what you want to do. Let's see, create a block of text that quotes Donald J. Trump. Print out the block of text. I think this is yeah, let's just go there. It didn't like it though. But you know, if this was ChatGPT, it would actually do it in there. So let's go back and see Donald J. Trump. We don't want that. We want no solutions. It doesn't like Trump. One of the only AI that I've picked up, ChatGPT would have actually just done it there. Quotes in the voice of Donald Duck. There we go. No, but it says Donald Duck quotes, so block of text quotes. Okay, so that quote in the voice, yeah, there we go. That says I'm a duck. Get Donald Duck, I'm a duck. So yeah, so it's not ChatGPT. It doesn't have that billions and billions and billions of text to actually do it though. So you can't really change the underlying model. And ChatGPT can, because you can have multiple stages in there. So you can actually go in there and stage it and change it as you progress there with your prompts. And that's prompt chaining. Dasha, any other questions?
No, we've just got Sandy Lee saying, thank you for the super informative session. This has her excited. Aaron says, still a challenge getting AIs, even ChatGPT, to not get stuck in repetition loops sometimes.
So ChatGPT is the free version of OpenAI, and that is an important concept. Yeah, so it does get in repetition, but also understand that that is very, very select. So if you're using ChatGPT, it's not a real good indication in OpenAI. You need to get Azure OpenAI, and then you can tweak it a little bit there, though. So over here, I did mom joke. Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? That's such a mom joke.
Cool. Anthony asks, do you think code prompting is comparable in quality and speed of development of a seasoned developer?
It's not supposed to replace a seasoned developer. It's supposed to augment and complement. So that's an important concept. You saw there when I had the form field, I had to go back in and make sure that it was the correct form field with the JavaScript function. It didn't replace me. It just, the prompt was wrong, and I had to go in there though. But we haven't done speed tests. This is very new. We haven't really done speed tests in that regard. We do have some statistics around it's on Microsoft's site though, that I think it's like 70% or 80% more effective on an average for a developer.
I guess you kind of still need to actually know what it's generating, whether or not what it's generating looks good, you know, because it might generate something that's completely wrong. And unless you know that, you won't necessarily go in and change it.
It's like anything with AI models though, but especially with this is basically taking pictures that were generated and formulated in a GPU and making and chaining the text together. Things can go hairy sometimes. But this is a highly performant tuned version of OpenAI Codex. And that's an important concept. And we're learning constantly around the telemetry and everything. And we're going to bring it out, and it's gone into business now. So you can actually go in there. And when we scan more of repos, it'll be even more effective.
Yeah. Oh, it is 2 minutes past 7. Last call for questions. Otherwise, thank you very much, Rory. That was very informative. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm still on the fence about, like, I don't know how I'm going to get a client convinced that it's not going to steal their IP, but I trust you that you can turn off telemetry. Maybe we can convince them that way. But yeah, this is very cool.
Microsoft spent a year, a literal year, testing this model to make sure that it conforms to their incredibly strict, trusted, and ethical AI. And this is an important concept. Historically, we've had some issues, so we didn't want to do that again. So that's the importance around this. Now, other competitors haven't. So worry more about their AI because they're rushing to market. And that is a concern. And that's something that we've addressed.
Cool. Yeah. So thanks, Rory. I think we'll definitely have you back for that ChatGPT talk. Looking forward to it at some point during the year. And then I think I've just got a couple of things to say into the outro. So thank you to Intellect for sponsoring the Zoom room. And then the video, we do put it up on the YouTube. I did post a link in the chat. does sometimes take a while. Please bear with us. We are doing this in our free time, and there's a lot of work to be done before DevConf in terms of reviewing talks. So we might not get to uploading this next week. It might take a month or two. But yeah, there's that. And then we do have some sponsors. You can check them out on our website. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining.
And also, you can apply for prompt engineer's job. So a prompt engineer is a kind of engineer now. Thanks, everyone, and cheers.
Cool.